shallow center field, and this one's going to drop to Lewinsky. He's getting a green light. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. He scored from first on a bloop single, and the Rockies win it 3-2.
As if you weren't fired up enough from that last night, you arrive at the park today. There's a free iced coffee giveaway. You think, why not? I'll kick it up a notch. So you throw that one back and you start making your way down towards the gate. And you think tonight's going to be awesome. The Rockies have a chance to win 2 straight against the Chicago White Sox and really get rolling here in the final week of interleague play. Say hi to the girls. What's going on, ladies? It's a beautiful night for baseball as Colorado gets set to tangle with the Chicago White Sox after that thrilling 13-inning victory last night. The first walk-off victory for the Rockies this season. Welcome inside Coors Field as we get set for baseball. I'm Tom Helmer. Right now we're going to get you upstairs with the 2 guys who will be calling tonight's action, Drew Goodman and George Frazier. Guys, kick it up a notch.
We're going to try to kick it up a notch. I know one thing. The likelihood that this game goes as long as last night is not very good, especially with Mark Burley on the hill. We'll get to him in a few moments. First, we want to talk about last night. I thought Richie Dower did a marvelous job coaching third, and I don't think that should be lost in the final play of the night.
Well, why not do it? I mean, why not send him? Force them to make the perfect play. It's a bloop into the outfield. He's playing deep. He's got to come a long way to get it. Tulowitzki looks up. He's getting the green light. I thought Richie was going to outrun him the whole plate running down a third base line. You gamble as a third base coach. You hope it works. Last night it did. And that's a great feeling for the Rockies. And I guarantee you right now, Richie Dower is happy that he got home safely last night. But when there's nothing going on, try it. Why not?
I would have been really disappointed had Richie actually beaten Tulowitzki to the
He had a
plate.
head start.
That wouldn't have been a good sign.
Start.
How about the first walk-off win of the year? Last year, the Rockies had 10 of them. When we come back, we'll talk about Burley and Jimenez. A great matchup. Matchup. Ubaldo Jimenez has just completed his warm-ups. He's ready to come in. Gets a fist bump from Jimmy Wright, the Rockies bullpen coach, and that, of course, is Mark Burley. He owns a perfect game. He owns a no-hitter in his career, and he is as durable as they come. Over the last decade, nobody has thrown more innings than Mark Burley. And you know what? He gives you that comfortable collar, Frazier.
Yes, he does. He's not going to blow the ball by you, but he's going to make you have to shake in your head as you're walking back to the dugout. 24 wins in interleague play. That's the most. 24-6 to be exact in interleague play. The lefty will work both sides of the plate. He'll change speeds with everything he throws. He really keeps you honest with a hard cutter on the inside half. And, of course, Jimenez looks to build off of his start against the New York Yankees the other day on Friday night, where he beat the Yankees 4-2 and threw the ball extremely well. He's pitched well the last 3 or 4 starts with command of the fastball and the split finger, and everything positive for Ubaldo's success against his club because they're free swinging. Get it close with velocity, and you're going to have a chance.
That's a great point. They're a little bit different than the New York Yankees.
Absolutely.
And we saw it last night. They're firing at the first or second pitch virtually every at-bat. The Yankees, obviously, a far more patient bunch. The table's set. Jimenez and Burley, the Rockies and the White Sox. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Edge, class-defining style, revolutionary technology. Ford Edge, drive one. By Quest, Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. By Jack in the Box, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 at participating restaurants. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards on limited reward seats and no blackout dates. Pretty night in the Mile High City. Jogging to the mound is Ubaldo Jimenez. The Rockies snapped a 3-game losing streak last night with that 3-2, 13-inning victory. And the Rockies now 12-14, by the way, in one-run games. Last night also their first extra inning victory of the season. There's Juan Pierre, who was a guest on our pregame show tonight. It's always good to see JP. Southwest Airlines batting order for Ozzie Guillen. Brent Morel will again hit in the 2-hole. Then Carlos Quentin, Paul Konerko, who was held hitless last night. And the first pitch of the ball game off the plate, ball 1. And then Ramirez, Pierzynski, Alex Rios, Gordon Beckham, and Mark Burley. So virtually the same lineup as last night. And that pitch is high, 2-0. About the only guy who's going to be patient in that lineup, George, is the guy at the plate.
Well, leadoff man, he's got to get on base. His average 256. He has 10 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 9 times. Ubaldo with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. First one of the ball game for Ubaldo. Ubaldo's first 2 months obviously not pretty. 0-5 over that time frame. Base hit to the right side. Looking at the rest of Ubaldo's numbers on the whole course of the year, what he's done. And again, that start in Yankee Stadium, impressive. A 4-2 win after 14 starts, a record of 3-7. Earned run average at 450, 84 innings, 74 strikeouts. The opposition's average at 248. But his last here in the month of June, 3-2, 243 earned run average. The slugging percentage has dropped dramatically throughout the month of June.
So Juan Pierre at first base, he has 10 stolen bases, which is way down from what you'd expect this time of year from Juan. Last year he led baseball with 67 stolen bases. He and Ron LaFleur, the only players in history to lead both the American League and National League in stolen bases. That's in there for a strike on Morel. And the surprising thing is Pierre's been caught 9 times already this season.
And how many of those are a pitch out? We don't know. You know, they're hard to determine or hard to look that up. But how many times people pitch out on you? How many people back picks to first base?
Breaking ball's in there for a strike. It's 0-2 on Morel. Tulowitzki and Herrera set for 2 up the middle. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. With the left-hander Burl out there, Spilborghs will get the start in left field. Cargo and Seth Smith, center and right. Wigginton, Tulowitzki, Herrera, and Giambi for Helton. At first base, Chris Iannetta is doing the catching. Design day off for Todd. After all, he played 13 innings last night. The 0-2's fouled off. Morel at the plate was rated the #2 prospect in the White Sox organization coming into the season. Minor leagues and coming up, known for his bat. He's got some pop. Not the most patient hitter, though. We talked about it last night. He walked last night for just the 2nd time in over 180 at bats. That's amazing. There goes Pierre, and the throw by Iannetta is in time. Great throw by Iannetta to cut down Juan Pierre. What a transition, George. You got a good pitch to throw on.
Well, you got a good pitch to throw on. Fastball, it's a little bit elevated in the zone. That helps out an awful lot. The exchange much easier, and then it's right on the money. Pierre thought the hand got in and that the tag was on the forearm. See if he caught it before the hand got there. Here comes Pierre, head first slide. Ooh, close. Bang, bang play, and it fell in the favor of Chris Iannetta and the Rockies. Iannetta on the season now has thrown out 14 of 63 would-be base stealers.
2-2 on Morel, and a ground ball to short. Pop came up nicely for Tulowitzki. 2 outs. Well, this replay is brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Become a millionaire. Buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the July 1st drawing. Baldo Jimenez, in his last 2 interleague starts, George, has come away with victories. One against Detroit, as we talked about in the open, the other in the Bronx.
Struck out 7 in 7 innings. He got stronger as that ball game wore on Saturday afternoon. 2 outs. Here's the dangerous Carlos Quentin, and he gets a slow hook for a strike. And another hook that's a little high, 1-1. Quentin earlier this year hit 3 home runs in a ball game down in Arlington against the Rangers. And this is chopped foul.
Very aggressive hitter down in the strike zone. You can get him out if you ride it up in the zone when ahead. Jimenez is ahead now. See if Iannetta calls a fastball up. Good to see the velocity at 96 on the last pitch. They opt to go with that fastball away at 92 off the mark.
Two balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Just underway, the White Sox and Rockies game 2. And this is another chance for Tulowitzki. Pierre singled. He was erased on a beautiful throw by Chris Iannetta. It turns into a 1-2-3 beginning for Ubaldo. Last night, and he'll lead things off for the Rockies. He's within 15 points of that magical 300 mark. And spending the first couple of months beneath 250. Southwest batting order will have Johnny Herrera in the 2-hole, then Jason Giambi. Troy Tulowitzki, Ty Wigginton will bat 5th against the left-handed Burrow. Seth Smith, Ryan Spilborghs, Chris Iannetta, and Ubaldo Jimenez. Mark Burley at 6-5 with a 3.73 ERA will step up. And when we say he works quickly, he works really quickly. In fact, a couple of years ago, George, he had a ball game, complete game effort, that the ball game took an hour and 39 minutes.
Well, you got to have 2 to tango, and you got another aggressive guy on the mound throwing strikes. You're right. He's going to catch and throw, and let's get to work. And oh, by the way, a great athlete. Mark Burley's numbers this year on the season: 6-5 record, an earned run average of 3.73. He's not going to strike out a lot. He will get a lot of ground ball outs. And how about this number? All-time interleague wins. All-time. 24-6 is what his record is. Garcia 23-10, Moyer 23-15, Livan Hernandez and Mike Mussina, 2 of those leaders retired, Moyer and Mussina.
Oh, what's more is he's 10-0 with a 188 in his last 14 interleague starts. Is that any good? And he gets a strikeout of Carlos Gonzalez to begin things. Juan Pierre is going to be in left field tonight. Alex Rios again in center. Carlos Quentin in right. It's the same lineup as yesterday with Morel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko in the infield left to right, and Przynski doing the catching. Johnny Herrera, the switch hitter, in from the right side. And Johnny takes a strike. He'll fill up the strike zone, Will Burley. And you want to try to get him out of his rhythm. If you start staying in the batter's box and working at his pace, you're obviously making it much easier for him. Carney Lansford was saying we got to step out a little bit. That's strike 3. That may be a reputation call right there by Dana Demuth. Now, Giambi has quite a bit of experience against Burley, though Burley's never pitched against the Rockies. Obviously, Giambi, all those years with Oakland and the Yankees, has seen him quite a bit. 10 for 26 lifetime with 3 home runs and 10 driven in, a .385 average. No shift employed by the White Sox, and that pitch is down low. On the corner. George, that's where he tops out at, about 88.
No, he doesn't want to throw the ball any harder than that. When he does is when he gets into trouble. He makes mistakes with that slider in. That's what happens. Giambi on his career has blistered him with 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, his 11th hit, 27 at bats. Look at the slider. See, he's trying to cut this ball into and down, and he just dropped the head of the bat and just jerked this thing to right field. Giambi now at first base. Obviously, you got to hit a ball in the gap. You got to move the baseball. You're not getting a lot of speed at first base.
Tulowitzki, who scored the game-winning run last night, the 13th, on a mad dash from first base. Perfect storm to have a bloop single score him. 3-2 pitch with 2 outs.
Well, part of the lineup that has hurt Burley all year long. 405 average, the 4-hole.
And here is that mad dash. He's going, and of course the outfield's playing no doubles. So a long run for Brent Lillibridge, and then he just kind of assumed that Tulowitzki would shut it down at third. That little hesitation before he fired to the plate allowed Tulowitzki to slide in safely. Pierzynski was fit to be tied, and Ozzie Guillen stormed off in disgust.
Well, that's not the way you want to lose a baseball game. I'm glad for the Rockies, obviously, but you know, Ozzie Guillen not happy at all with the play in center field and not recognizing to go all out in that situation. And last night, Ozzie was not happy, what Drew talked about. He put his head down. He just couldn't believe the play from center field. And he just walks off along with Don Cooper and Jeff Cox, 2 of his coaches.
Two and one on Tulowitzki. And it's 3-1. So Troy exhibiting some patience here. The Rockies have struggled in the first inning of late. They scored in the first inning only 5 times in the last 34 ball games.
Troy was out early today with the group hitting about 1:30 at the ballpark.
Good approach. Carney Lansford, any soft tossing guy that changes speeds on virtually every pitch, you really have to gear yourself up to going the other way.
3-1 count changeup. You don't see that. You see it against a crafty guy that knows what he's doing out on the hill, somebody like Burley, but you don't see it on a regular basis. Tough to adjust to. Burley's hoping on an 81-mile-an-hour changeup. He rolls it over and hits it to shortstop.
Giambi will be off with the pitch, and Burley's going to check on him. Troy fouls this one back. Though the Rockies have never seen Burley in the regular season because both teams trained together for a number of years in Tucson, and they would play several Cactus League games against each other. You and I, George, have done a few games where Burley's thrown a couple innings against the Rockies.
But the only concern you have there, because he's a veteran that's won 154 games, what's he working on that day? Or do you see the true in-season Burley? But at least you do get to see. Thought he had a strikeout there at Tulowitzki.
At least you have a feel.
Yeah, that's what, exactly what you're saying. You have an idea what the arm angle is and what it is. But last year,
the Rockies in spring training and their new facilities and seeing the White Sox a couple of times, you still get to look at it. But when veteran guys pitch in spring, they just change so many things around. It's not the typical guy you see during the regular season.
And the other guy that has experience with Burley is at the plate, Ty Wigginton, 4 for 17 lifetime. That's in. I was asking Ty about facing Burley. He just smiled. He said, man, he said, it's just hard to square him up. He said, he gets you out, or you get yourself out. And this is Luke to second base. That's a typical Burley sequence right there. 2 left on as we go to the second, no score. Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Alana Rizzo in a few moments all season long. Join us for Toyota Talk. Text your comments during the game. See what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their minds about their favorite club. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comments and questions to 720-720. Rockies beat the White Sox yesterday for the first time ever at Coors Field. In 05, when the White Sox were here, they swept Colorado at 20th and Blake. Paul Konerko takes ball 1. Konerko last night 0 for 5. Still wonderful numbers this year. 318, 21, and 60. That's in there for a strike. High, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
You know, much of what you said about Mark Burley and the Rockies facing him in spring training, the same can be said for Ubaldo Jimenez. You know, he pitched against the White Sox in spring training also. So it's a matter of the thing you recognize is you've got 2 really good pitchers, and it doesn't really matter how many times you've seen each other. They're pretty good. 154 wins for Burley in the big leagues.
See, Konerko hit less than 200 against the Rockies, and that's a strike. The bottom of the zone. Konerko kind of looking back at crew chief Dana Demuth, and you can see pitch number 5 did catch the outside corner at the knees. Konerko, like most great hitters, is a tremendous fastball hitter. Missed away there, and a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Alexi Ramirez. Ramirez hit a home run last night. He was 1 for 5. So I'm sitting in the White Sox dugout, George, earlier this afternoon.
Talking to one here.
And well, I was talking to Juan Pierre, and guess who's he looked like Trader Jack McKeon smoking a cigar.
Really?
Yeah. Alexi Ramirez up and in. Thought the White Sox had won the World Series or something. And Ramirez takes a strike. It's 1-1. Ramirez third among American League shortstops in RBIs with his 36. Is Drupal Cabrera, who the Rockies saw last week, leads with 47. And this is a high fly ball to left field. Spielborgs has it, and Konerko went about 2/3 of the way. Will return to first, 1 out. If your windshield is cracked, as we tell you every night, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Pretty night at the ballpark. Last night, more than 40,000 in the house. Here's A.J. Pierzynski. A.J. was 0 for 5 yesterday. And he gets a breaking ball for a strike. Slowly hit the second, but neither runner particularly fast, and they'll still turn it over. The luxury of having Pierzynski running. It's a 4-6-3 double play. That saves some bullets on the arm of Ubaldo Jimenez. Well done by Herrera and Tulowitzki. Seth Smith, Ryan Spielborgs, and Chris Iannetta to face Mark Burley. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more, make your way to Taco Bell locations in Colorado for your Rockies tacos special between 4 and 6 the following day. First pitch to Seth Smith. Seth Smith missed away. George, you want to say that quickly?
S&S. How'd I do? You said say it quickly.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Well, the Rockies, George, facing Burley today, and Smith in there, and Jim Tracy hinted as he gets a base hit to left at the same deal on Friday against Duffy, a left-hander for the Royals, and then Jeff Francis on Sunday. We all know Jeff well. Would apply, and Seth Smith getting more and more opportunities because of the way he swung the bat to face southpaws. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo. Alana.
Well, you guys were talking earlier about how great of a job Rich Dower did coaching third base last night. So I asked him what elements he needed to see to give Troy Tulowitzki the green light to score from first base. He basically said, you know, since it was a bloop single and the outfield and the defense was playing no doubles, that Brett Lillibridge had to come in to get the ball. So he had to create his own momentum there. And the fact that he didn't throw it, you know, he hesitated throwing it home, also allowed Tulo to score. He said the biggest thing, though, was Troy Tulowitzki himself. When he was between the 5 and 6 hole, he looked at him looking for direction, and then at that point Rich Dower said, come on in. Tulo never hesitated and was able to score all the way from first base. He really gave the credit to Troy Tulowitzki for putting it in another gear, allowing him to score, because as Tulo joked after the game, he knows that he doesn't have the best wheels on the team, but was able to make it happen with that bloop single and the miscue by the outfield guys.
Juan Pierre was trying to remind Brent Lillibridge that even when you're playing no doubles, you can't play so exceptionally deep at Coors Field that exact scenario unfolds, because again, it was the perfect storm. 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, a blooper at Coors Field. If you're at Wrigley, if you're at US Cellular where the White Sox call home, if you're anywhere else, unless you're talking about Eric Young maybe, you're not going to send the guy. 2 balls and a strike. One of the other things Richie Dower, I'm sure, factoring in, and I know this in talking to Richie, the fact that the bullpen had been, you know, starting to get toward the end of the bullpen, played 12+ innings. There were only 2 runs up on the board. You had a kid coming up in Blackman who hits from the left side against a crafty left-hander in Will Ullman. Those are other things that you have to consider. It's not like he was taking a bat away from Todd Helton or Carlos Gonzalez. And again, it's not a knock on Charlie Blackman, but you know, what is he, a few handful of bats into his big league career?
Checking to make sure that glove, maybe some string had broken loose in AJ Brzezinski's glove. Ranger changeup away, did not get called. That's where he likes to give people a bite, but he ran the count to 3-2.
And a swinging strikeout of Chris Ionetta. The bat goes flying and the Rockies are done. Smith led off with a single, but Spilborgh's hit into a 6-4-3. 2 innings complete, no score. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. And by King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Oh, great shot of the Red Rocks Amphitheater. You ever run the stairs there, George?
Twice. Downhill both times. I didn't make it going back up. Had a car take me out and ran back down again.
Somehow I figured as much. Alex Rios takes a strike at the knees at 94. It's 1-1 on Rios. Two and one. I know when Ozzie Guillen puts the head on the pillow at night, he hopes to get two guys going offensively, and that's Adam Dunn and Alex Rios. We haven't seen Dunn yet in the series. Ozzie told us yesterday he's looking to start Dunn tomorrow in right field. There's Big Adam. Here's the 2-2 on Rios. See you later.
Yeah, grab some pine meat. Hey, the Kansas City Royals coming to town this Friday through Sunday, including 2 fireworks games. You know that, Drew? That's Friday. They don't shoot them in the daytime. They do it at night, Friday and Saturday night.
Is this
Get your tickets for that game.
4th of July?
Typically they do, yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, actually. Because I know you usually set up here. You invite your friends, neighbors, and all that stuff in. They have about 600 guys up here, and we watch the fireworks. We sit here and watch them together.
Now you're lying because you're the first guy out of the stadium
Well,
on
right.
fireworks night.
I've had my fireworks fills. I'm usually the first guy up the street. You're right.
They do a great job. Best in town. Here's the 1-0 on Beckham, and it's fouled off. 1-1.
Doug, did you ever find out the answer to that last night? 2 starting pitchers go 7 innings each in the game without a strikeout. 4 times since 1961. How about that? Last night, both starting pitchers, 7 innings each, no strikeouts.
And it's only the 4th time it's happened that pitchers have gone at least 7 innings, both of them with no strikeouts. Gavin Floyd, Jason Hamill. Here's the 1-2. 2-2.
Steve Luber, you know where he's from? Joplin, Missouri. He was one of the guys that did it in 1976. Member of the Minnesota Twins. Paul Splittorff, the late Paul Splittorff. Randy Lurch.
Randy Lurch.
He's on
you
the
do it
Adams
the
family.
Phils. That's a different Lurch, Frazier.
It is?
Yeah. Who wound you up tonight?
I'm just having a good time. Happy to be at the yard. Kidding? Come on.
Always happy to be at the yard.
Green grass, dirt, little round ball flying around. Everybody's making great catches.
Mark Burley at the plate.
What do you think his career numbers are? 089. I'll help you out. But he does have 8 sacrifice bunts. There's just nobody on base.
He also has a home run. Mark Burley's a really good athlete. Remember that play? Remember that play he made last year, opening day? He's won a couple Gold Gloves. He won one last year, and I think it was sewn up on opening day. Look at this play by Burley.
Yeah, how about that? Are you kidding me?
Hike.
Here's the whole deal, though. I mean, how did the first baseman stay there with everything? Good inning for a ball, though, that's for sure.
That was an amazing play. Maybe the best defensive play we saw all year, and it happened in the opener. Ubaldo Jimenez will lead off. That's Alex Rios. Rios had a tough night last night. He dropped the fly ball, and then for not running hard on the bases, he was pulled out of the game before the 7th. Ozzie Guillen said, they don't run the bases, they're out of the game. I don't give a, I think you
What
can
else
fill in
did
the
he say?
blank, if it's Konerko or Adam Dunn or anyone. Ozzie threw a tirade last night.
Well,
after the
like
ball game. He said, let me just paraphrase Frazier and let you comment on it. He said it was the worst game we've played all year. I was kind of glad that it finally was over because I was suffering there with my coaches. We had opportunities, blank it, get the game over with, we go home and hopefully get it tomorrow. It was the worst game we played all year long. We had chances over and over and over, but we didn't take advantage. You do that over and over again, but the baseball gods get you.
Well, he didn't play the game that way, and he's not going to tolerate it from his players. That's why he's won over 600 ball games as a big league manager. He's been a world champion.
One out, and Carlos Gonzalez, who struck out swinging, will take his second swipe at Mark Burley.
Tell you what, Burley's one of those guys on power hitters, left on left. He'll go soft, soft, and softer. He'll just keep backing off, and then all of a sudden he's the same pitch, and then all of a sudden he'll speed it up a little bit.
And he does that with his fastball. That's one of the things Ty Wigginton was talking about. He doesn't throw his fastball the same speed. I mean, he just keeps working off that. This ball has hit the center field. Rios misjudges it, and it is off the wall, then off of Rios. And Cargo is digging for 3. He'll have a triple. He hasn't seen Carlos Gonzalez square up the ball. You could tell right away that he had no shot.
He doesn't have fly balls, what he thought he had, right out in front of him, can of corn. This ball just continued to carry and hits right off the base of the wall in center field. Watch when Gonzalez gets that arms extended on a breaking ball up in the zone. They wanted that down. Watch him freeze. Those 2 or 3 seconds freeze, and then the circle in before he went back cost him any opportunity at all to make a play on this baseball. It's 2 nights in a row the ball has been misplayed, stayed away from him. Cargo knows his yard, knows his arm that he's against, and coasts into third.
And how about this in the 3rd inning with 1 out in a scoreless game? The infield's in, and the pitch is also in to Johnny Herrera. Johnny caught a look in his first time up. He saw only 3 pitches. So Herrera trying to drive in his buddy Carlos Gonzalez with the game's first run. Krasinski with the good block, 2-0. And 3-0 with Giambi on deck. Alexi Ramirez, talk about infield in. I mean, he is really shallow, and he gets the baseball. 2 outs, and Giambi will come up. Usually on the pull side with a guy with a strong arm, he's going to give himself a little more range.
Well, he is right tight on the grass because of a sinker ball pitcher, but he's able to knock this down from his knees and make a play on it. A little bit surprised about that. Really good reflexes on the baseball and the action of the ball coming off of that turf at Coors Field.
Giambi roped a single to right his first time. That ball's in.
Giambi with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. 5 for 13, 385 average. Whoopsie. See, that's that pitch he'll keep you honest on. Right up underneath the chin of Giambi.
Career numbers against the White Sox. Here's the 2-1 with Cargo at third. And this is a broken bat fly ball to right. He changed speeds enough. That Giambi didn't get the barrel on it. So Cargo's triple is wasted. We'll go to the 4th no score. Sox and Ubaldo Jimenez for the Rockies. AT&T trivia question. Burley's 24 wins is the most ever in interleague history. Which pitcher has the most interleague wins for the Rockies?
Guess what? I'll give you a little hint. You ready?
Yeah.
He struck out 10 for the Grand Prairie Dogs the other day in Dallas, Texas, in independent baseball.
He's pitching Grand Prairie, Texas now?
Right at home.
Okay. I think I know the answer. Here's the 1-0 on Juan Pierre. Single his first time up. And it was on a 2-1 pitch that he singled. He's got a 2-0 count right now. He has the only hit for the White Sox. He was erased trying to steal by Chris Iannetta. 3-0. Juan has swung the bat well here at Coors Field, and he swung the bat well against his former club. He had a very nice tribute, verbal tribute to Todd Helton, who is going to play in his 2000th game the next time he takes the field. Here's the 3-1. 3-2. That's about as strong a reaction as you'll get from Juan Pierre. He rarely argues with umpires. Those two guys remain good friends. Juan says Helton, one of the guys who taught him the game of baseball at this level, one of the guys he admires most in the game. Another leadoff walk. That's 3 out of 4 innings that the leadoff man has reached. Pierre's not a guy you want on. Forgive me for stating the obvious. Brent Morel at the plate. And a hit and run was on. That's why Morel stretched out on a pitch way out of the strike zone to get a piece.
You see, on a pitch down and away like that, I know it's difficult. It's 93 miles an hour. Why are you trying to hook it? Go with where it's thrown. Just get. Rennie Stennett used to talk an awful lot, second baseman with the Pittsburgh Pirates, about getting out on your front foot and really change the angle of the bat in a hit and run situation. You could control it, but that's why the guys that hit in the 2-hole have such great back control.
One strike count on Morel. Rockies with 3 hits, just 1 for the White Sox. This one's fouled off also. Quickly a 2-strike count.
Well, Ubaldo trying to erase those home numbers for the 2011 season. 1-5, 686 earned run average. The opposition has hit 357 against him here in the house.
In the air, right field, down the line. Smith is going to have a play. And he does a really good job chopping his feet before that walk, because Pierre had tagged up. A smart play by Juan. I mean, there's nothing else for him to do, but just in case Smith has to hit the ground to make the catch. Good play by Smith. He's played a good right field this year. You know, he gets overshadowed, obviously, when Dexter was up, George, and by Fowler and Carlos Gonzalez. But Smith's done a good job in right.
And I'm going to give credit to him because he lost weight. He got himself in better shape coming to spring training. His arm was in better shape, and it all shows.
Quentin takes ball 1.
Came into spring training a very determined young man after that second half letdown after the Rockies got rid of Brad Hopp and said it's your job. I think it's a wonderful story about Seth Smith and his success in 2011.
Towering pop-up, foul, and out of play. Iannetta removed his mask. George, sit back down. You had no play either.
You don't
Wells
know.
Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. See a Wells Fargo banker today if you're not a customer. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Rockies have turned over one double play in the game. 1-1 count on Quentin.
Ooh, nice snag. 91-mile-an-hour heater sinking. That's got to be pretty hard to do. Good job by Annetta.
I have to ask you a question. How many cups of coffee have you had?
3,156.
I mean, you're jumping all over the place tonight.
Huh? I'm excited. I like it when it's a good pitching matchup. You had an extra inning W last night. All those things factor into your day.
I'm excited also, but I'm going to put a seatbelt on you.
How do you know if I had a play on that? You ducked.
The only way you had a play on that is if you brought like your 60-foot net.
How do you know I don't have one?
You may. You're a fisherman.
I don't have one.
2-1 on Quentin.
Another good crowd at the yard. You were right on it last night. 40,175. What do you think you got tonight?
I'm going to reserve judgment because I think folks are still getting here. It's not quite as big as last night. Look out. You throw it in on Quentin and he's not going to get out of the way.
What'd you say? How many times he's been hit, Dougie? Like 24 times average a year?
17 this year, 91 in his career, or 4% of his plate appearances.
th time he's gotten whacked on the year. That looks so much like Don Baylor 30 years ago. Just got to roll the shoulder, take the hit, deflect it. It's never a direct hit. It just kind of skips off him.
I guarantee you he has the respect of his teammates for a lot of reasons. He's a very good player. He's a very good hitter. You'll take one for the team. He personifies that. Paul Konerko, 2 on and 1 out. Just off the plate. And with Juan Pierre at second base here in the 4th, it's the first time since last night in the 5th inning when Pierre reached second after a double that a White Sox player has been to second, a span of 12 innings. Fouled off by Konerko. Paul walked his first time up. Konerko with 10 home runs in June. We discussed that last night. It's the 4th time in his career he's hit 10 or more in a calendar month. Here's the 1-1. And that's a base hit that is going to score Juan Pierre with the game's first run. He was out front a little bit, just kind of served it to left center field. And a walk and a hit batter. I mean, you just can't do that. We talk about it all the time, especially when you're locked up, George, in what figures to be a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, and all those pitchers are away. Even this pitch hit into out in left field is off of the plate, a spinning slider away. But because of his bat length, Paul Konerko can go out and boot this ball to left field. You are in a deadlock pitching duel today. The mistakes come back to haunt you. The walk, the hit batsman, and then a bloop base hit, and you're down 1-0.
Alexi Ramirez at the plate. Ground ball wide of third. 0-1. George, I don't know if you recall, but I do, watching Ramirez in his first spring training with the White Sox when they were training at Tucson Electric Park. Very impressive skill set.
Oh, there is. There's no question about it. You start to look and you go, man, why is this guy hitting where he is? Well, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs. You see him walk up into the ballpark and you say, not a big kid. A lot of bat speed, a lot of power.
Defected from Cuba.
Very thick shoulders, very thick chest.
0-2, and he's blown away on that 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Hey, Coors Field available year-round for special events. That's right, most areas of the ballpark can be reserved. So call for more information, 303 Rockies, and to book your event here at Coors Field.
2 outs, 3 punch outs now for Ubaldo, and it'll bring up Przinsky, who grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. Quentin's at second, Konerko at first. 1-0 White Sox. And that's a line drive that eludes Smith. He tried to make a sliding catch. Quentin scores, throw to second, and Przinsky's in safely. Konerko to third. It is 2-0. Smith's in that sun field.
Yeah, hook and sinking line drive too. That's the other side of it. Not to make any excuses. He may tell you this ball could have been caught. He comes right at him. He slides to get it. I don't think he ever got a glove on it. I hit him right on the knee and short hopped him because that ball had so much top spins on it. Difficult play to be made. And unfortunately, you see the tear in the pants for the effort of Seth Smith trying to catch that baseball.
Alex Rios at the plate. It scored a double. I'll tell you what, if you don't get Rios right now, if he throws out a base hit, you have a chance to be down 4-0, just like that.
All with 2 outs.
One and one, the slider on the outside corner.
They seem like to be showing it. It just looks like they're showing more patience tonight. Could be that Ubaldo's in the shadows, nasty stuff, not picking the ball up. He's throwing 63 pitches here in the fourth with 2 outs.
He's got to get Rios. And he's fallen behind 3-1. They are showing more patience tonight, George. I don't know if it's what you suggest or everybody's game plan with Ubaldo is make him throw strikes. That hasn't changed since he arrived in the big leagues. Slider again. It's 3-2.
Obvious to me, that's the one pitch he's comfortable to throw for a strike right now, but even behind in the count, because it was a 2-0 count on Konerko when he threw the slider and he hit it off it was off the plate, a ball, and he was able to hit it in the outfield. The confidence in that off-speed pitch is maybe higher than what it is with his fastball right now.
3-2, and it's topped to short. In the inning, there was a walk and a hit batter, and both would come around to score. 2-0 Chi Sox. The Rockies will have Tulowitzki, Wigginton, and Smith. Let's take a Pay another visit to Alana Rizzo. She has tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana?
All right, Drew. Well, there are 3 active pitchers that are actually in the ballpark tonight that have at least 1 no-hitter under their belt. 2 are pitching in this ballgame as we speak. Of course, for the Rockies, Ubaldo Jimenez, the only one in franchise history in April of last year against the Braves. Mark Burley pitched a no-hitter against the Texas Rangers on April 18th of 07, and the 18th perfect game in baseball history against the Rays on July 23rd, 2009. Burley's teammate, though, Edwin Jackson, you might remember when he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks, threw a no-hitter on June 25th of last year against his former team in Tampa Bay. And here's something you might not remember. On April 15th of 1987, against the Orioles, Juan Nieves, who is now the White Sox bullpen coach, threw a no-hitter. He was the 2nd youngest player in Major League history to throw a no-no. And so far, guys, the only Milwaukee Brewer at the time to do so, guys.
I remember that. There's Juan Nieves. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's instant baseball immortality if you were able to throw a no-hitter. And there have been a lot of great pitchers, obviously, who've thrown no-hitters. And there have been, quite honestly, journeymen who've thrown no-hitters who had a moment where everything aligned. Bud Smith being Larson. One. Don Larson, 81 and 91 in his career. This should get down. Nope. Alex Rios stole a base hit from Troy Tulowitzki. He just hung up in the air long enough.
Very nice catch. It did hang up long enough, and he timed this run perfectly to snag the baseball. It's good to have a long glove in the outfield. It paid dividends there for Rios.
I'll bring up Wigginton, who hit a little pop to second. Two and 0. I mentioned Burley hasn't lost, George, an interleague road start in 5 years.
10-0 in his last 14. You mentioned that earlier. You didn't say if it was home or road. There's a walk to Wigginton.
He doesn't do much of that. That's the 2nd walk he's allowed. Seth Smith, who had a base hit, will come up. Last team to beat Burley on the road, the Cubs, back in June of 2006.
Home runs, 6 RBIs in the last 8 ball games for Seth Smith. He's also hit 321 over that span. Excuse me, 323 over that span. Left-handers have hit 279 against Burley.
One ball, 1 strike. Mark Burley, 6'2" and about 240 pounds, out of St. Charles, Missouri. Originally, George, a 38th round draft choice in 1998 out of Jefferson Junior College. Now, you're from Missouri. You know much about Jefferson JUCO?
Yeah, very good junior college. They recruit a lot of guys out of Oklahoma and the St. Louis area that don't qualify or don't want to go to a 4-year school such as Missouri State, which is in Springfield, very successful program, or Missouri, or Illinois, Southern Illinois. There's a nice group of Division I schools right around that metroplex of St. Louis. But Jefferson County, a very, very good junior college program.
And this is a pop-up right around Richie Dower's coach's box that is handled for the 2nd out by Morrell. Well, Mark Burley, distinction of throwing the 18th perfect game in Major League history. That's his no-hitter in 07 against Texas. And here's the perfect game, July 23rd, 2009 against Tampa Bay. Ramirez got the final out. Now, see Ramon Castro's catcher giving him a bear hug. What is very interesting about that battery that night, Ramon Castro, George, had never caught Mark Burley before.
Perfect.
And that it was perfect. And it had never happened before, where a guy catching somebody for the first time. He may be out. Yep, he is. Another pickoff. Ty Wigginton caught it first base. That is one of the staples of a Mark Burley outing. The Rockies dugout, Jim Tracy kind enough to pop a headset on. Trace, Mark Burley has confounded hitters for a long time. What's the best offensive approach if there is one against him?
Well, first and foremost, certainly, Drew, you can't get too involved in trying to pull this guy. But he is a tremendous competitor, and obviously he's got a variety of pitches. He does a great job of using both sides of the plate. But you got to stay behind him, and you got to think the other way against him, because if he gets you in pull mode collectively, you're going to see a lot of ground ball outs to the left side of the infield.
All right. Hey, Trace, good luck the rest of the way.
All right, Drew.
2-0 Chicago. It'll be Gordon Beckham leading it off here in the top of the fifth against Ubaldo Jimenez, who was allowed the leadoff man to reach in 3 of 4 innings. Once on a hit, twice on walks. Last inning at Burnham. This is a high fly ball to deep left field. And Spilborghs on the edge of the track makes the catch. Well, Mark Burley does this all the time. In fact, he has 15 pickoffs, which is the leader since the start of last year. You notice one thing about all those guys, George?
Left-handed.
They're all left-handed.
Clayton Kershaw got a very good move for a young player. Clayton Richard, another in San Diego.
Burley pulls it down the line. It's a fair ball. And Mark Burley, a one-out double.
Doug, you told me he couldn't hit. You said he couldn't hit. I said, Doug, could he hit? He said, no, he can't hit. 5th hit for him in his career.
Is it just my imagination, or have the Rockies pitching staff struggled either with walking the opposition pitcher or giving up hits to guys who you figure aren't going to get one?
It's not your imagination. It has happened where you're walking guys when you don't necessarily need to be put in that position. Here's just a fastball inside. Close your eyes, swing, and look what I found, a double in the right field corner.
Juan Pierre, a single and a walk. Pick play, and they got it. Wow. Thanks, Mark Burley. He hadn't been out there for so long.
A little tired. Wanted to get on back to the dugout. Had to run from home to second.
Doug's trying to hide. Look, there's 3 guys there trying to hide their smiles.
He knows he's going to get it, too. How'd they get me? They must saw my wheels. They were nervous. Joey Cora, the coach, right here.
There's only one guy not smiling, though, right now, George. Yeah. Ozzie did not find any humor in that. A bunt attempt, Ubaldo bobbles, and you're not going to get Juan Pierre.
I've seen it so much. It's scouted. Everybody knows they can do it. It's the combination of the pitching staff and Troy Tulowitzki. And you know what, Burley's like, come on. Come on. Well, I tried. I was just about 5 feet short of the bag when I slid, and the tag came in. Yeah, maybe not 5, but a couple.
Burley's a fun-loving guy. Yesterday during batting practice, after every ground ball that Paul Konerko took, he had a rake in his hand. He would rake the ground in front of Konerko to make sure that it was completely
You don't want that guy
down.
hurt. That guy's not going to get hurt. He's not taking one off the eye. He's not taking a bad hop that you would here at this ballpark. You know what kind of car he drives, don't you?
Truck.
F650.
One of those, huh?
F650. Yes, sir, one of those. Huge outdoorsman in the offseason. Like a lot of players in baseball now.
I'd given Juan Pierre a bunt hit, but that's inaccurate. The official score has indicated it's an error on Jimenez.
Bobbled it when he went to go catch the baseball, apparently. I thought I saw him bobble, but I didn't think they would give him an error on it. I thought Pierre would get a hit.
It's a 1-0 on Morel. Popped up around second base. Johnny Herrera waiting. And that's all for the White Sox in the 5th inning. They had a double by Burley. You know what happened to him. 2-0 they lead, middle of 5. Coming up in inning number 6, as we do every night, it's Toyota Talk. Text your comments during the game to Toyota, followed by, well, text Toyota first, followed by a space, and then your comments to 720-720. Spielborg's leading off, takes ball 1 from Burley. And here's what we want you to comment on tonight. Ozzie Guillen, as you know, is not only one of the longest tenured managers in baseball, but he's also one of the game's bigger characters. And we want you to think back through the current game of Major League Baseball, back through the years. Tell us your biggest managerial characters in your mind. 1 and 2 on Spielborg's. He grounded into a double play on the first pitch he saw back in the 2nd inning after a lead single by Smith. Rockies have had a runner in every inning. Had a 1-out triple in the 3rd by Cargo, but then Herrera grounded out. Giambi flew out to right. Who's Ozzie calling, George?
Well, pizza.
I mean, his starter's a pretty good place. If he wants to take them out, I think we'd all be for that.
Well, those phones don't just go to the bullpen. They have them up in the locker room. I mean, there's a lot of places. One hop right at Konerko.
Still pretty good play.
Yeah, great play by him. And Spielborg's now 0 for 11 in his career versus the White Sox.
So how's he talking to one of his coaches or a fan?
Oh, who knows?
Chris Iannetta at the plate. He takes ball 1. Talking to Adam Dunn. Dunn sitting right there. You know, it shouldn't be lost in that victory last night for the Rockies, George. The Pen did an outstanding job. 6 innings of shutout baseball. They allowed only 2 hits.
Well, their bullpen matched up well too, but Bilal, all of them were part of it. I mean, everybody came in and did their job, and Bilal worked out of a tough situation with some men on base and ended an inning. Rex Brothers, the youngster, picked up his first win. The man right there, Jim Tracy, can manage a bullpen, folks. He can manage and match up with the best of anybody in baseball in the late innings of a game.
3-2. Brothers, who got his first major league victory yesterday, he is the only member of that bullpen that Jim Tracy's going to stay away from tonight. And another strikeout for Burley. That's his 4th of the night, and that'll bring up Jimenez. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. Snow caps in the background. Beautiful Lodo night. Mark Burley's won 24 victories against the National League. Who has the most interleague wins for the Rockies? Now, you mentioned he's playing independent ball. Jason Jennings went 9-5 with the Rockies against the American League.
He's playing for the Grand Prairie Air Dogs right now. 5-1 record with a 3.92 ERA over 7 starts in the Independent American Association.
Jason Atta.
Baylor
Frisco University.
Yeah, Frisco, Texas now.
And this is a ground ball to Ramirez. 1-2-3 in the 5th. Mark Burley retiring the Rockies. The White Sox leading 2-0. E470 and Express Toll celebrate 20 years of excellence. Tomorrow is a day ball game. Make sure you're with us beginning at 12:30 on Root Sports for the pregame show. The Royals will be in over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. And then it's off to see a very good Atlanta Braves pitching staff in particular. The Rockies will head to Washington from there. Play Davy Johnson's Nationals. You tried that one on for size yet, George?
Yeah, Davy Johnson saw him on TV tonight. One of his players got hit with a pitch. Harrison did an elbow, so he was squawking around on the field. Saw Davy come out. Looks good in the inning.
It's been a while. 3, 4, and 5 for the White Sox here in the 6th inning. Carlos Quentin will lead it off, then Paul Konerko and Alexi Ramirez. Ubaldo Jimenez has won his last couple of starts. He's 3-7 with a 4.50 ERA, making his final start in the month of June. And George, I think with the injury to De La Rosa, and even if De La Rosa doesn't go down, but now with the injury to De La Rosa, Jimenez, in my mind, probably has to be a double-digit second half winner for the Rockies to get where they want to be in late September.
Obviously has to pitch extremely well. There's no question about that. To win double-digit second half, you know, you've got to have a lot of things go your way, but he needs to do that. It needs to be 10 wins.
It's our Toyota Talk inning, and tonight we've asked who are the best managerial characters of all time in baseball. And Billy Martin would fall under that grouping. Lou Piniella, this is line to right. Smith has to go back and reach up. That ball was stung pretty well by Quentin. Tommy Lasorda. I agree with you, Val.
Earl Weaver's come across yet? Pinello, that's a good one. You figure he's going to be on there. Billy Martin, absolutely.
Breaking ball for a strike.
I'm going to throw one out at you. Mikulik down in Asheville. No, just he had his one tirade.
No, he's had more than one.
Well, one
Joe
really
has.
good
Well, he had,
that lasted a while.
John McGraw once told a player to bunt. The player hit a home run instead. John McGraw sat in the next game. Strike 3 on Paul Konerko. He got painted there. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, they did just that. Heat on the inside, a good running fastball. You can see him flop that front side back because of that run. He thought the ball was on the inner half of the plate. Dana Demuth thought differently.
You know, people are forgetting Earl Weaver. You said Earl, but nobody said Earl out there, George.
Yeah, they did. It's like 12 times. I'm teasing. They haven't said him at all. How about Earl the other day? Did you see that story? We auctioned everything off because his kids were fighting over his memorabilia. So he said, here's the cash. Y'all just split the cash up. That's hilarious.
Good inning from Jimenez. Now he needs some runs.
Freeze cam. Last night, Przynski throw off line from Lillibridge, sliding in safely with the winning run. First walk-off, first extra inning victory of the year for the Rockies. And it's Tulowitzki scoring the game winner. It's brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Top of the order against Mark Burley in the 6th. Gonzalez a triple in 2 trips. And he takes down low ball 1. Cargo's average now at 286, continuing to climb. Herrera and Giambi to follow. Hopefully others. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Here's the triple. It froze Alex Rios in center field. The high drive that ends up going off the middle of the wall. Down the line, off the bag, and another base hit for Cargo. That doesn't go off the bag. It's going to be another extra base hit for Cargo. George, I've been watching now. I've been watching closely. He hits the ball really hard.
You think he's getting better with all that practice he's doing?
Yes, I do.
Looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah, it doesn't matter left or right. They've hit 279 against Burrow. Both sides have, and the total's going to go up after tonight because Gonzalez with 2 hard-hit baseballs won the triple, and now this one off of the bat.
So a leadoff single in a 2-0 ball game. The hits are even at 4. Johnny Herrera strikeout and a ground ball to short. Johnny takes a strike. Mark Burley's an interesting story. He may not be at the same level, say, of a Michael Jordan, though. He's had a marvelous big league career, but Jordan famously got cut from his high school basketball team. Burley got cut twice from his high school baseball team. This is a double play ball.
You know, he's not the only one. I'm not trying to top the story of Mark Burley, but I was cut 3 years from my high school baseball team.
Yeah, you know what? People make mistakes. People get better.
Perseverance. I mean, I played in the summertime. We only had one high school team. That was a varsity team. That was a talented baseball team. So I spent my time playing in the summertime.
Burley actually didn't want to go out for baseball his junior year after being cut a couple times. And his dad said, hey, we didn't raise quitters. Burley had a really late growth spurt as Giambi steps in. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. He was 5'7" when he graduated high school. And now he stands 6'2".
Tells you why he went to junior college.
Twice in this ball game, the Rockies have had lead singles. Smith in the 2nd and Gonzalez in the 6th, and right behind it has been a tailor-made ground ball that obviously turned into a twin killing. This ball well hit to left field. Pierre looking up. He's a spectator. It's a 2-1 ball game. Giambi goes opposite field, his 9th of the year.
His 4th career home run against Burley.
Remember what Jim Tracy told us last inning. He said you can't try to pull this guy. Home run number 424, opposite field.
High fastball up and away from him, and that's a strong man at home plate in Jason Giambi, and he sent this ball well into the left field seats.
You know, between Giambi and Helton now, George, the Rockies have 18 home runs from their first baseman. I understand Giambi's hit a couple when he's DHing, but you get the point.
You get the point. Not only you talked about the number of 18, what'd you say, 18 home runs between the two of them.
This ball in the air to shallow right, and getting there in time is Quint.
And 54 RBIs to go along with it. Pretty good numbers put up combined. I know some of those have come as a DH, but he got one here out over the plate to make this a 2-1 ball game.
Let's check the Excel Energy high efficiency inning. It's last inning for Ubaldo Jimenez. He got a line drive to right that Seth Smith handled. That retired Carlos Quentin. Paul Konerko got a 96-mile-an-hour two-seamer. He didn't like that much. And then a two-hopper to third. Wigginton to throw out Alexi Ramirez. Brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Waldo will take another inning like that. He starts out Persinski with ball one. And AJ rolls over to Johnny Herrera. Tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch brought to you by CenturyLink. Mark Burley's topped out at 88. Ubaldo's topped out at 97. Alex Rios will come up. 2-1 ball game if you look at Burley. Giambi with a home run to left just a few minutes ago. The only 2 runs, if you're just jumping aboard, for the White Sox came in the 4th inning. A leadoff walk to Pierre. And then with 1 out, Carlos Quentin hit by a pitch. This is shallow right field. Johnny Herrera runs it down. Nice play by Johnny. 2 outs. And then an RBI single by Konerko, and with 2 outs, an RBI double by Persinski. But again, if you don't put people on, we may be talking about a 1-0 game right now. But woulda, coulda, shoulda doesn't work. Gordon Beckham at the plate, 6 in a row now, retired by Jimenez. He has not had much run support this year. Ubaldo with just 3.2 runs per game, one of the lower figures in the National League. Go figure, the Rockies are never supposed to be on that list, George, with the fact that they play half their games at Coors Field. 2-0's in there, 2-1.
The win yesterday put them above 500 here at Coors Field. That's got to continue to grow. They're 20-19 in this park.
Yeah, if you really look at it, you take their road record right now. They're basically a 500 team on the road, close to it. And they've only finished above 500 once on the road. That's when they won 41 back in 2009, a playoff year. Here's the 2-2. So it all comes down to doing what they normally do at Coors Field. Another strong inning for Ubaldo Jimenez. Stretch time at Coors Field. It's 2-1. Look back. We flash to the 4th inning for the White Sox after a walk and a hit batter. Paul Konerko just kind of served one to left center field on a breaking ball away, and then A.J. Przinsky lined ball towards Seth Smith. He couldn't make the sliding catch. Another run would come around. Last inning, Mark Burley left the fastball up, and Jason Giambi, for the 424th time in his career, got the jog around the bases. So it's 2-1 as the Rockies hit against Burley in the bottom of the 7th. Wigginton, Smith, and Spilborghs. It's 2-0 on Ty. Wigginton flare to second and a walk. And he didn't flinch. It's 3-0. What's in there?
5 fly ball outs. Not many have been hit hard, though. That one line drive into right center field off the bat of Tulowitzki. Nice play by Alex Rios.
This is a tie ball game. Ty Wigginton. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Boy, did he ever lean on that one. Rockies playing pepper with the seats. It's a 2-2 affair.
Hard to say 8 ground ball outs, but that one went very far, very quickly. Trying to come inside fastball, elevated that pitch just like it was. Good Giambi. I love it when those guys hit home runs and they just kind of toss the bat and jog around the bases at their own pace, folks. That's a great shot of that home run. Almost caught by our cameraman. Who's out there? Is that Roger out there? Nicky B's out there. All right.
I'll tell you what, if Nick doesn't make the catch, it's on the concourse. Boy, Wigginton, George, has a ton of pop. 13 home runs now for Ty, an all-star last year with the Orioles. And Smith pops it up. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo very quickly. Alana?
Left fielder, number 19.
Well, if you're looking for that song to download onto your iPod, it's going to be pretty difficult. It's Spilly's walk-up song, and it's called Walking on Air, and it was actually written and tracked by Spilly's father. Now, he had a career, speaking of Spilly's dad, back in the late 60s, but then he got married, started raising a family. His music career had to take a back seat. But recently, about a year or two ago, he reconnected with his friends in the music business, and he's been writing songs. He has a whole compilation of songs. He gave that one to Spilly. He's using it as his walk-up song, but Spilly told me today, I haven't gotten a hit with it yet. If I don't get a hit tonight, the father-son bond is out of there. I'm going back to my old song, guys.
Not too superstitious, huh? Fouled off 1-1. Ty Wigginton has the place of buzz. Wigginton within a home run now of tying Troy Tulowitzki for the club lead. How about the last 14 games for Wiggy? 7 bombs and 14 RBIs.
And they'd like to make sure this one gets up a winner, too, because he was hitting all those home runs and the Rockies weren't winning games. He wants to get on the winning side of some of those long balls.
First time he's hit one out against Burley.
Rockies 2-8 right now, and he homered.
Well, last night, George, the Rockies win in 13, 3-2. They had 10 singles in the game.
Yeah.
And tonight, Cargo's thrown out a triple, and of course Giambi's home run and Wigginton's home run. This is back up the middle, a base hit for Spilborghs. He can keep the song, Alana.
Hey, all right, guys, he gets to keep the song at least one more appearance. His dad's happy about that.
So with one out, Spilborghs at first for Chris Iannetta. Iannetta with one out, and Spilborghs at first in a 2-2 ball game.
Jimenez on deck.
The lefty-righty combination of the Rockies bullpen getting prepared to come out to pitch the 8th inning.
Bad throw. It's gone up the right field line. Spilborn should get the third on this easily. What a break for the Rockies. Mark Burley, who's picked off more base runners than anybody in the game since 2010. A two-base error, and Ozzie cannot look.
Now what happened is it looked like Konerko did not step out to the baseball. He just turned sideways, reached to get the baseball, and obviously not far enough, and Spilborg's hit for a slide into third.
And again, Burley, a Gold Glove winner last year. This is not a guy that hurts himself in the field typically. Infield is in, 2-2 ball game. Of those situational at bats, George, where the Rockies have been, to be fair, only so-so this year. They've left some runners at third base in some tight ball games. That's in 2-0. Who's got a bat ready in the Rockies dugout? And a pop-up. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Burley makes a pitch. Iannetta pops out. Now he'll take a 2-out knock. Jimenez has been called back naturally. And it'll be Chris Nelson. Don Cooper's going to come out. Maybe to review a scouting report on Nelson. Spilborg's at third with 2 outs. Get your CSU football season tickets and reserve your seat for big home games like the Air Force Academy, the Wyoming Cowboys, and the Broncos of Boise State. They'll be in Fort Collins at Hughes Stadium and Sonny Lubick Field. Sideline season tickets include the Cinchines Rocky Mountain Showdown against Colorado. You don't want to miss that one, the CU-CSU game. Call 1-800-491-RAMS or visit csurams.com.
A good time for Nelson to pick up the pace a little bit with men in scoring position. 3 for 22 on the season.
That error by Burley was his first in September of 2009. And a strike to Chris Nelson. George, Burley's also a guy that prove people wrong to say, well, if you don't throw hard, you can't throw inside. And just a swing and bunt out in front of the plate. Burley makes a perfect throw there. No harm done after that error by Burley. So the Rockies leave a runner at third, 2-2. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. This long ball off the bat of Ty Wigginton, his 13th of the year. He tied up the ball game last inning. It looked like it went 400 plus feet. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Top of the 8th inning. It's now on the bullpens. That score's familiar, isn't it, George?
Yes, it is. Here we go again. Tied game. A master of the bullpens working it. See what you can come up with. And then you turn it over to Matt Reynolds, the left-hander, making the 38th appearance. Very good earned run average. 25 and a third inning.
Brent Lillibridge will pinch hit for Burley. And hits it off the end of the bat to center field. One pitch and one out. That'll bring up Juan Pierre. So Burley goes 7 innings. He allows 2 runs. Jimenez line 7 innings, 2 runs on just 4 hits. He walked 2. He struck out 4. Baldo's George only gaffe was walking this man Juan Pierre, and then 1 out later hitting Carlos Quentin. He created the traffic that produced the 2 runs. 0-2 on Juan Pierre. Only 25 players who are active right now who have more hits than Pierre's 1,923. Tulowitzki's got to hustle, and he'll get it by half a step. Always know who's running. Good job by Tulowitzki. Colorado Lottery replay. Become a millionaire. Buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the July 1st drawing. Last night the bullpen was terrific. Houston Street had a scoreless inning. Betancourt had a scoreless inning. That's Matt Lindstrom. Broke a bat, and then Rex Brothers ended up getting the victory. 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th, and here comes the right-hander, Matt Belisle. Well, the fans are all about Rockies All Access this week, and you threw in and threw out a lot of questions. We're going to give you answers. Players provide answers on their walk-up songs, favorite moments, and other topics. That's tomorrow night at 6:30 on Rockies All Access. First pitch from Matt Belisle to Brent Morel, I should say. Strike 1, so it's an 0-1 count on Morel. 38th appearance for Belisle, 2.21 ERA. That pitch misses, 1-1.
Belial is coming in with a 221 earned run average. Watch what he'll do with his slider to right-handers. He really gets on top of it, creates a good downward plane on the baseball away from him.
Line drive, right field. Smith coming on. He's got it. And that's all for the White Sox in the 8th. 2-2 as we go to the bottom half of the 8th, top of the order for the Rockies. Time for the Home Depot doing more on defense, more saving, more doing. Nice running catch and foul ground right near the wall by Seth Smith earlier this evening. Home Depot doing more on defense. Top of the order for the Rockies in a 2-2 ball game. The bottom of the 8th, it'll be Cargo, Johnny Herrera, Jason Giambi. And the White Sox will counter with Matt Thornton. Rockies saw him last night, hard throwing lefty.
Yeah, he did a good job last night. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. 29 innings pitched in 31 games. He'll start out with the left-handed hitting Carlos Gonzalez with 2 hits in the ballgame, a triple and a hard single down the first base line.
Average now at 289. Let me correct it. 288. 35,973 at Coors Field on a Wednesday night. Cargo a triple and a single tonight, and he fouls that pitch back. Rockies have 2 runs on 2 solo home runs. Giambi in the 6th, Wigginton in the 7th. Real good numbers late in baseball games for Carlos Gonzalez. Outfield exceptionally deep. And Cargo got another fastball up in the zone. Thornton, far more heaters than Chris Sale, the other left-hander who throws in the upper 90s. Sale uses that slider a lot more than Thornton does. Thornton comes right after you.
Big sweeping slider, too.
Ball down the left field line, foul, and again it's the fastball at 96.
July 3rd is Road to Rushmore Getaway Day, courtesy of Rapid City Convention and Visitors Bureau. The first 10,000 kids get a Rockies Rushmore poster, and select fans will win Mount Rushmore vacation packages. So make sure you get out here to the ballpark and be one of those young men and women that could have an opportunity to win that vacation. Watch it, watch it.
Hector Santiago's just up from Double-A. Brian Bruni's been around for a long time. Several different organizations. Again, 4 lefties, 3 righties in Ozzie Guillen's bullpen. It's a good pen. 0-2, and that was the slider. Tell you what, Cargo runs into a fastball here, George. This thing could turn quickly.
Yeah, give you the lead.
Back up the middle. That's going to be another base hit for Gonzalez. Off the leg of Matt Thornton. So the go-ahead run is aboard. It's a 3-for-4 night for Cargo.
Well, now you bring the guy up, handles the bat well. He's a guy that can bunt the baseball. He's a guy that can also hit and run with. He can protect runners with his swing. This off the end of the bat and the toe of Thornton, and it ricochets over towards third base. That bat splintered out, but it does come up with the base hit. Even after it ricocheted out of the foot area.
Herrera 0 for 3. Rockies trying to build a run here in the bottom of the 8th. And Johnny gets the bunt down. Morel didn't even bother looking a second. He wouldn't have had a play.
It's one thing about Ozzie. Well, one thing about Ozzie, he's fundamental sound. I mean, he's going to get an out. The last thing you want in a bunt situation is to come up empty-handed.
So the go-ahead run at second. Rockies trying to do what they did yesterday, but do it in regulation. Win 3-2. Giambi at the plate. 2 for 3 tonight. A single. And in the 6th inning, a home run to left field. Giambi with 9 home runs. How about this stat? 7 are out on the road. There's 2 here at 20th and Blake. That's inside ball 1. Well, I like this matchup. Giambi still gets the bat head out on good fastballs. Thornton has a good fastball. No shift. And the outfield pretty much straight up. On the outside corner. There's the discipline of Giambi. It was a strike. It wasn't his strike.
Well, not in this situation. Not with a runner in scoring position. You're not going to chase something out of the zone. You take the one, it's not a very hittable pitch. That's the other side of it.
2-1 is that 96-mile-an-hour fastball missed. Richie Dower getting ready to crank up that right arm and hopefully send number 5 to the house. 2-1. Down, it's 3-1 with Tulowitzki on deck. He held up. No swing. They check it with Doug Eddings. 2 on. 1 out, and here comes Tulowitzki.
A conversation right now with Tommy Runnels and Jim Tracy as they look over.
Guys, he's going to get Brian Bruni.
Sure, you're going to get the right-hander with good fastball, hard slider. We're talking Tracy and Runnels. Do you pinch run for Giambi to help keep yourself out of the double play? Right now, he's staying in the ball game.
We'll be back. Brian Bruni aboard for the White Sox.
By Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. It's a 2-2 ball game. Rockies trying to change that here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mark Burley was very good. Ubaldo Jimenez very good. They will not factor in the decision. The White Sox got 2 runs in the 4th, and Jimenez put both of those guys on, a walk and a hit batter. Giambi a solo home run. Wigginton tied it up with a monstrous home run in the 7th. Runners at first and second. Cargo a single. He was sacrificed to second by Herrera. Giambi just walked, and Brian Bruni, the 29-year-old journeyman, will face Troy Tulowitzki, who is 0 for 2 in a walk. Bruni started the year in AAA Charlotte. Just called to the big leagues a little less than a month ago.
Just waited for his opportunity at the big league level when they had some injuries and he had success. It made an easy move for the White Sox. The guy that worked out of the bullpen and spent time with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the New York Yankees. Turned what used to be a very good arm in the mid-90s. A lot of sliders now. Tulowitzki's 0 for 1 in his career against him.
Bruni last year pitched in the big leagues for Washington. But he also pitched for 2 other organizations last year. The Mets and the Brewers. Here's the 1-0. Ball and 1 strike. That fastball cruised across at 93. These are the situations that Troy Tulowitzki wants to be in. He's got one right here. Chance to put the Rockies ahead in the bottom of the 8th. 2-1. Another slider, and it's 2-2. Wigginton on deck. Well, those numbers may not be good, but most hitters with 2 strikes don't have glowing numbers. Here's the 2-2. Inside, 3-2. Cargo at second, Giambi at first. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 2. Cargo takes off. It's ball 4. And now they're loaded up for Wigginton. Right man at the right time. Ty Wigginton's been cooking the last few weeks.
He has been in a long ball already in this game, and he's had a few opportunities, not many, just 6 with the bases loaded in less than 2 outs. He's 1 for 6 with a double. The team has hit 270 in this situation. They've had 63 chances with the bases loaded. In the 7th inning, it was Ty Wigginton's big swing of the bat, and it was launched on a ball in the middle half about belt high to left field, almost all the way up on the concourse for the third baseman.
Here's the 1-0. Hard ground ball to second. Wigginton's got to get up the line. It's a 4-6-3 double play. And the Rockies do not score. That young man can't believe it. Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. Pretty night in Colorado. This ball game has been rapidly played, but we're tied at 2 as we were last night in the 9th inning. That means Houston Street will come aboard. And when this game reaches a conclusion, we'll have the Toyota postgame show with Tom Helmer. Tom?
Drew will be talking about armed forces. Great effort by both starting pitchers tonight. We'll break down each of their performances. Also all tied up. Ty Wigginton with a solo home run to make this a 2-2 ball game. We'll talk about what he's meant to this team as well. And as always, we'll get you down to the clubhouse for post-game reaction. Drew?
All right, Tom. Well, double play ended the inning. Ty Wigginton hit it hard, but a good play by Beckham.
And Troy Tulowitzki tried to get in as much as he could on the shortstop. Ramirez just couldn't do it. That ball is hit way too hard. And the glove, the arms come through for the White Sox up the middle with the bases loaded, 1 out. Houston Street, just as he did last night, coming in with a tied score here in the top of the 9th inning. Last night, Street 1 inning, 2 strikeouts against the White Sox. In the 9th inning last night, he came on and faced Ramirez, Pierzynski, and Littlebridge. We'll start out with 3, 4, and 5, and Carlos Quentin.
Yeah, he's got the thick part of the lineup. Quentin 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch. 10 straight Sox players have been retired. The last hit was a double by Mark Burley in the 5th inning. And Ubaldo gave up just 2 runs on 4 hits. Back up the middle and a base hit. So Quentin a leadoff single here in the 9th.
Boy, you talk about, you hear that phrase through the wickets. That's exactly what this was. Right back up the middle. Against Houston Street, you see that grass cut, that ball snaking into the outfield.
Paul Konerko, a walk, an RBI single, and a strikeout. And another base hit. This one could hit a gap. Carlos trying to cut it off. He will. Quentin's going to go first to third. And now, Houston, we've got a problem.
See where this pitch is located. It really looked like changeup trying to really turn the thing over. Konerko stayed right on the pitch and just drove it into right center, far enough off gap that it allowed your runners to get first and third. Jim Tracy's going to have a conversation with Ramirez. Excuse me, with Street about Ramirez.
That would be different if you went
Hey,
chatting
come here,
with
Ramirez. We're going
Ramirez.
to talk to you, man. We're going to throw you 2 sliders and a heater, and you're going to go sit down, okay? Got it. Yeah, you get more, get more at the Rockies Dugout Stores. Exclusive gift with a purchase. And ticket specials, they're going on right now. So stop by one of the Dugout Stores for 303-832-TEAM. Most closers don't like to have a lot of conversation. They just give me the ball and let me pitch it. The Rockies 0 for 6 with men in scoring position tonight. The White Sox 2 for 4. Infield's got to be halfway to cut the run down.
Here's the first pitch to Ramirez, in there for a strike. You know, Houston Street's been described as a contact closer. He doesn't have the overpowering fastball, but he still averages about a strikeout an inning. Ramirez right up on the plate. Rockies had a marvelous opportunity in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bases loaded and 1 out.
Clayton Mortensen has gotten up in the Rockies bullpen and started to throw. It's only if this game gets away from Houston Street. Remember, Try to minimal amount of pitches thrown and he's out. He's ahead here, 0-2.
Good changeup. Well, if you get Ramirez, George, you have a double play candidate on deck in Przinsky.
That you do. Not a lot of speed at the plate. Well, with runners in scoring position this year versus Houston Street, the opposition has hit .214, so he's made pitches when he needs to, and he needs to make one here. Now first and third, Konerko at first, Quentin at third. Closer on the hill on Houston Street.
Here's the 0-2. Got him with a slider in the dirt. So that is a big one right there. One out, and that'll bring up Przinsky.
Way ahead in the count, has been known to chase. He chased this slider, perfectly positioned by Street and blocked well by Iannetta with a runner at third base.
Przinsky an RBI double back in the fourth. He's hitting .407 since June the 6th. But if he hits it on the ground, you have a great opportunity for a double play. Przinsky has rolled into 17 of them. I'm amazed that Torrey Hunter leads the American League because Torrey runs pretty well. Przinsky does not. In fact, earlier in the ball game, he grounded into a 4-6-3 double play on a ball that took like 18 hops to second.
Your concern here, a veteran guy typically gives you a pretty professional at bat. So, you know, what he's thinking about is airborne. He's not thinking about top of the ball. He's thinking about middle and below.
Average speed at third and Quentin.
You got to make sure that Street knows now that Giambi's gone behind the runner at first base now, not holding him on. Give him more range with the left-handed bat at the plate. Konerko, not a guy that steals a lot of bases. Go ahead, please.
There's our Geico quote of the day yesterday. Paul said, I like to steal them 4 at a time.
Make a swing 4 at a time and head to the house.
2-0.
That looked like a Walt Reniak swing. The old hitting coach at one-handed finish high up into the zone.
It
was
did.
with the White Sox for a number of years.
0 for 5 against Street. This is in the air to shallow right. Smith coming on, momentum with the plate. Here comes Quentin. Here's the throw, and it skips away from Iannetta, and the run scores. So Jeff Cox, as Richie Dower did last night, gambles and it pays off. Iannetta catches that, and Quentin's dead at the plate.
Now you see a short fly ball into the right. Smith with the strong throw. One hops Iannetta out in front of the plate. If he would have been able to check the runner where he is, you would have been able to go out and catch the baseball and come back to the runner, which would be difficult to do.
Rios pops up. This will end the inning. But the White Sox get a run against Houston Street. So it's 3-2 Chicago as we go to the bottom of the ninth.
Lead on that short sack fly by Przinski that flated Quentin. Rockies need 1 to keep playing, 2 to go home happy. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies taco special, please text the keyword taco to 720-720. Here in the bottom of the 9th, Seth Smith, Ryan Spilborghs, and Chris Iannetta scheduled against the right-handed closer Sergio Santos, 27-year-old from Bellflower, California. 6'2" and 230 pounds. A couple years ago, he was a shortstop in pro ball. Shortstop with a big arm.
Another one of those guys that are converted guy and comes out throwing hard. Santos, another guy that is somebody that can really bring a hard slider to go with it. Who is the guy with the Los Angeles Dodgers that came up, the right-hander that was a catcher and was closing in AAA and came up and he got hurt? It starts with a J. I can burn it.
Jansen.
Jansen, a very similar type guy. I mean, this guy, they've just stuck down there because of his toughness mentality of handling the 9th. He's 15 of 17 save opportunities.
Kenley Jansen, who you're talking about. I'll tell you a quick story about Sergio Santos. He was playing winter ball in Mexico when he was still playing shortstop with Ryan Spilborghs, who's on deck. In one day, they hadn't even gotten loose yet, and they're having a conversation, and Santos said to Spilborghs, he goes, I bet you I could throw 92 off the mound. And Spilborghs said, no way. He said, I know you have a big arm, no way though.
So Howard, was it?
This ball line to center field, and it is caught by Rios. He made that one interesting. 1 out.
I'll tell you, Smitty scalded some baseballs. He's swung the bat well all year. 307 average. Man, oh man, what a nice catch in center field by Rios. Sinking line drive, comes in and catches it right on the shoe tops.
Well, the rest of the story is he threw like 10 throws, not pitches, warming up. He walked to the mound. His first pitch was 92. His second pitch was 96.
You know that slider you can't hit? Well, guess what? We're going to teach you how to throw that slider, and you're going to go down to the bullpen.
And that's how the process started. Here's Spilborghs against his former Winter League teammate.
Well, Ismael Rogers, another one of those conversion guys out of shortstop. And then, you know, I'm not surprised a little bit by some injuries just because of the fact that, you know, you're making a conversion from a position guy and mounting some innings up, and over a course of time, it can have a taxing on the arm.
Rafael Betancourt, same situation. He started his professional career as an infielder. If your windshield's damaged, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000. Go to safelight.com. 1 out, nobody on. 3-2 Chicago. There's the slider. Talking to a couple of people with the Cubs about Santos, George. They've already seen Santos in interleague play. They'll see him again in interleague play next week. Said this guy is filthy. Said he's like Carlos Marmol, but he throws more strikes.
And a little different arm action. It's up on top, a short, quick arm action, which allows him to stay in his zone a little bit more.
You go back to that throw last inning by Smith. Set up perfectly for Seth. All his momentum going to the plate. It's one of those maybe decisions you make. Do you airmail it all the way there, or do you try to skip it? Because he knew that with an accurate throw, he's going to get Quentin. And he got that in-between one that Iannetta could not handle. Otherwise, again, Quentin's going to be out easily. Strike 3.
Crowd is reacting to Ryan Spilborgh's body language on the pitch. SBI flinched thinking the ball was going to be really inside. That tells you he didn't pick the ball well at all off of Santos. And Jim Tracy leaves him scratching his head right now, hunting for that one base hit to get something going, or the one big fly.
2 outs and nobody on. Ionette at the plate. 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a pop out.
The guy that throws really hard, he's sure using the slider to his advantage here, and it is nasty. 84 miles an hour.
Rockies, excellent opportunity also in the 7th inning to push across an extra run. Let's not forget that. That's a strike. It's 0-2. Ionetta was up, George, with Spilborghs after that throwing error by Burley with 1 out. He had a 2-0 pitch, and he got jammed. It popped it up. Blackman hoping for a chance. And then, of course, last inning, bases loaded, 1 out. And Wigginton hitting hard, but it was on the ground, turned into a 4-6-3. 0-2. Popped up, and Krasinski's not going to have a play. Wigginton a home run tonight. Tulowitzki a couple of walks. So many of these games, it seems like already in the first half for the Rockies. And too often they've been on the wrong end. Big part of their story so far. Through 79 games and now 80. They lose another 1-run game. It's a formality as they get it to first base. Last night the Rockies won in 13, 3-2. Tonight the White Sox return the favor. They get a run off Houston Street in the top of the 9th, and Sergio Santos closes it out. And the White Sox win it 3-2 tonight to even the series at 1 apiece. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. AJ Pierzynski didn't hit it far. The throw by Seth Smith was in plenty of time, but it skipped under the glove, kind of short hop. Chris Ionetta, very difficult to handle that. That's the difference as Quentin scores. 3-2 final. The White Sox win it. Stick around. The Toyota postgame shows up next from 20th and Blake.